Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Cleveland Sports Show. I am your host, Darius Sethna. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Man, if you are an Ohio soccer fan, there's really no better time than right now. We're going to get into the Columbus Crew going to the MLS Cup Final, but first we have our sports fact of the day to discuss, as well as some Premier League updates in part one of the Cleveland Sports Show. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's start off with our intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Darius Sethna of NordoniaHills.News, and the Cleveland Sports Show starts right now.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Cleveland Sports Show. Once again, I am your host, Darius Sethna. Thank you so much for joining me. Wanted to talk about some soccer stuff. We have Premier League updates as well as Columbus Crew getting to the MLS Cup Final. But first, it's our sports fact of the day. Today is Friday, December 11th, and on this day, back in 1938, in a quick football stat for you here to start off our episode, December 11th, 1938, National Football League Championship at the Polo Grounds in New York City. The New York Giants beat the Green Bay Packers by a final score of 23-17. Was also the record title game attendance with 48,120 fans in attendance on that day at the Polo Grounds. Now, the New York Giants have been accustomed to past glory in the NFL. They won the NFL championship, not the Super Bowl, but the NFL championship 4 total times. In 1927, 1934, just mentioned 1938, as well as 1956. However, the trophies don't stop there for the New York Giants. They also have 4 Super Bowls. It started in 1987, then 1991, 2008, and then 2012. So Giants, 4 NFL championships, and then 4 Super Bowl wins as well. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Colt McCoy may be looking to get the Giants back on track. They're possibly going to win the NFC East this NFL season, but we'll see. And we're going to talk more football with Logan Purcell later in the show. But that was an interesting fact. On this day, December 11th, 1938, the New York Giants beat Green Bay 23-17 for their league championship in New York City. So I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, that there's no real better time to be a soccer fan. And especially with how the Premier League and the standings have been shaping, that definitely holds serve. As of right now, this upcoming weekend, match day 12 of 38, we actually have one game that's going on right now as I speak over the Atlantic in England. Leeds United going up against West Ham. We're live in the 43rd minute, and we're approaching halftime. The game is right now tied at 1 goal apiece. A 6-minute penalty kick from Matus Klitsch in the sixth minute, as I mentioned, gave Leeds United the lead. However, in the 25th minute, Tomas Souček ties the game up for West Ham. West Ham currently with 7 shots to total to Leeds United's 6. However, Leeds United has dominated the possession in this ball game. 69% of the possession in the game going in favor of Leeds United. Other games going on in the Premier League will all continue tomorrow into the weekend. Tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, it starts out with the Wolves going up against Aston Villa, Newcastle going up against West Brom at 10 a.m. tomorrow. At 12:30 p.m. tomorrow, Manchester United will be going up against Manchester City. Everton will be facing off against Chelsea at 3 tomorrow. On Sunday at 7 a.m., Southampton will be facing off against Sheffield United. Crystal Palace going up against Tottenham tomorrow at 9:15. Fulham will be facing off against Liverpool at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday. 2:15 on Sunday, it'll be Leicester City taking on Brighton, and our final match of this weekend in the Premier League will be Arsenal going up against Burnley at 2:15 p.m. So very excited to see how those games play out. As of right now, in the Premier League standings, to be specific, Tottenham is in first place in the Premier League, 7 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss for them. They have 24 total points, and they've only allowed 9 goals in the season so far. They're the only team in the Premier League who have allowed less than 10 goals. Liverpool comes in at second place with 7, same record as Tottenham, so they're pretty much neck and neck. 7 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. Liverpool also with 24 points. Chelsea comes in at third place, 6-4-1 record, 6 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss for 22 points. Leicester City in fourth place in the Premier League, 7 wins, no draws yet, but 4 losses for Leicester City, 21 points on the season for them. Southampton comes in at fifth place with a record of 6-2-3 for 20 points, and that rounds out our top 5 teams in the standings for the Premier League this week. Additionally, stats, Dominic Calvert-Lewin leading the goal margin right now in the Premier League, 11 goals for Calvert-Lewin. Son Heung-min of Tottenham with 10 goals on the season. So Calvert-Lewin and Son Heung-min are the only 2 players in the Premier League right now with double-digit goal tallies. Jamie Vardy and Mohamed Salah, if each of them can get 1 more goal, they will be added to that category as well. Both Vardy and Salah with 9 goals each. Jamie Vardy plays for Leicester City. Mohamed Salah plays for Liverpool. Harry Kane and Patrick Bamford each have 8 goals on the season as well. In terms of assists, Harry Kane, the only player in the Premier League right now with double-digit assists to his name, 10 assists for the Tottenham forward. Kevin De Bruyne comes in at second place, the Manchester City forward, with 6 assists on the season so far. Jack Grealish of Aston Villa comes in at third place with 5 assists on the season. Tying for fourth place include Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United, John McGinn of Aston Villa, Lucas Digne of Everton, and Manchester United's Marcus Rashford, each of those players with 4 assists on the season. And that concludes our Premier League updates for this week, ladies and gentlemen. And now we're going to get into what I know all of you Ohio soccer fans want to talk about. That's right. The Columbus Crew are in the MLS Cup Final. This did happen recently. The Crew went to the MLS Cup Final 5 years ago in 2015. However, they fell short to the Portland Timbers. The final score of that game was 2-1. Columbus actually gave up a goal in the opening minute and just were never able to get back in the game. Kai Kamara was the forward at the time. Remember Federico Higuain, all you Crew fans? I certainly remember that game. The Crew are going to be playing a team from the Northwest, from the Pacific Northwest. Not Portland, but Seattle. Seattle is looking strong. They had a huge comeback win against Minnesota, a 3-2 win for the Seattle Sounders. They are the Western Conference champions and are going to play Columbus. This game is going to be at MAPFRE Stadium, which is very, very exciting. We're going to see tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. the start of the 2020 MLS Cup Final. But let's see how the Crew got there. They beat the New England Revolution in the semifinals this year by a final score of 1-0. It was a very competitive matchup. 16 shots for Columbus in this game against New England, only compared to 10 for New England. 7 shots on target for the Crew, 4 for the Revolution. The Revolution actually got the upper hand in the possession game, 53% of the possession going to the New England Revolution. 464 passes completed by New England as well. 46 more passes completed for the Revolution than the Crew. Pass accuracy for New England, 80% to 77% for Columbus. In the 59th minute, we're tied at 0-0. Crew are in attacking position, and Jose Arturo de Lima Jr. gets the goal for the Columbus Crew. If it was for the New England Revolution, that would have been pretty bad. But it was for the Columbus Crew. That was our only goal of the entire game. Crew win this one in regulation. Final score 1-0. They are the Eastern Conference champions, and they are going to be representing the East in the 2020 MLS Cup Final. The Crew did win the MLS Cup back in 2008. We'll see if they can make up for that horrific game they had 5 years ago in the MLS Cup Final and make it up with an MLS trophy. We shall see, but Columbus Crew taking on the Seattle Sounders tomorrow, which is Saturday, 8:30 p.m. That game can be watched live on Fox, so your local Fox station. Make sure you check that game out from MAPFRE Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. It is surely going to be a great matchup. Cannot wait.